Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. My name is Pei. I'm the Product and Marketing in Secure One. Thank you for joining us today. So our topic today is regarding network monitoring made easy with PRTG Network Monitor and Hosted Monitor. So before we start our webinar, I have some good news to share with you all. So we just launched our Secure One Instagram account. We are doing a giveaway, and with 3 simple steps, follow our Instagram account, like 30 posts in our Instagram account, and comments and tag 3 of your friends in the comment section, so you will get the chance to win 300 ringgit touch and go reload pin. So feel free to scan the QR code in the right side, and it will direct link you to our Instagram account. So we also actively post our products updates, product knowledge, or promotions, events in our Instagram account, social media like Facebook, LinkedIn, and our website. So feel free to follow us. So before we start our webinar, if you have any questions throughout the webinar, feel free to leave your questions in the comment box, the chat box. So Aaron will, our speaker today, she will bring it to during the Q&A section. So our speaker today is Mr. Aaron. He's the network engineer in Secure One. So let's start our webinar today. Aaron, pass it to you.
Thank you, Pei. So let me share my screen. All right, let's begin. So a very good morning to everyone, and salam sejahtera, Malaysia Madani. Let us begin. So I would not introduce myself anymore because Pei have introduced me. Thank you a lot, Pei. So today we will be talking about how PRTG can make your network monitoring easy. So we'll be talking about the on-prem network monitor PRTG and then the on-cloud hosted monitor PRTG. So a brief introduction on Pacer, the company behind PRTG. They have around 350 employees over the globe, 25 countries, all right. And their largest market is from the US, followed by Dutch, UK, and Benelux. They support companies of all sizes and industry, and 70% of Fortune 100 companies are using PRTG today. Okay, next. So a little bit quick fact, all right. Their HQ is in Nuremberg, Germany. They have branches over in the US and Malaysia as well. And they consist of regional teams and over 4,000 partners worldwide. And of course, they have over 500,000 users currently using PRTG. Right. So our agenda today, I'll go through the architecture of the on-prem PRTG, and then I'll go through the on-cloud PRTG. Then I'll talk about what's in store for the future of PRTG, what's new in PRTG in this year, and a little bit of demo so you guys can just see the PRTG in action. And then we'll go through the Q&A so you can ask any questions, and then I'll try to answer at the best of my ability. So PRTG network monitor architecture, let's take a look. Sorry, 1 second. Sorry, I'm having some difficulties loading the slide. There we go. Okay, so as you can see here, the corporate LAN, this will be your HQ. You have a branch office right here, and then your hosting provider, that's in the cloud. Okay, so PRTG is made of consists of 2 components. One is the core server, the brains, and then one is the probe, the soldier who'll be collecting data from your devices. So like I mentioned, the probe will request data from the devices in your network, and then they will send the data to the core server to do processing, analyzing, and reporting as well. Okay, so basically, if you have a branch that is not located in the HQ, or maybe you have a network segment that is separated from the main segment itself, the server, which is where the server lies in, you can always deploy a remote probe right here. So let me just highlight all the probes in the core server in this slide. Sorry, 1 second. So this remote probe itself will do the same thing as a probe from the core server. Okay, so it collects the data and then it sends it back to the core server. So there is a port which the core server will allow in the server here. So once you install a core server, basically a port will be enabled by itself, and then they'll be able to communicate to each other. All right. So they are communicated through encrypted traffic, TLS 1.3. So we try to prevent man of the meter attack. So you do not worry about that. And if you want to monitor something that is on the cloud, let's say the mail server or the web server in your hosting provider, you can always deploy a remote probe. But if it's something you can reach publicly, like a public IP address, you can always, you don't have to deploy a probe. You can just add that public IP address in your PRTG call server, and you'll be able to monitor your cloud applications. So let's say, what if one of the branch firewall dies? Maybe there's no internet connection at the branch. What happens to the data in the branch then? It's very simple. PRTG have this function called memory buffer. What it does is store 500,000 entries, data entries in the remote probe. So they will store up to, let's say, like 3 to 7 hours, also depending on how many things you're monitoring in your network. Okay, and once the internet is restored, then they will send back to the call server as if the data was not lost at all. All right, so that is the on-prem. Now let's take a look on the on-cloud architecture. So the difference between the on-prem and the on-cloud architecture is that you no longer need to host your own call server. Of course, the server itself is being handled by PRTG in AWS, Amazon AWS. So the only thing you need to do is deploy a remote probe to collect the data in your network. Okay, like here in this architecture, you can see it's a remote probe. I'm collecting data related to SNMP, WMI, or SSH, and then I'll send it back to the PRTG server in the cloud. So if you want to access your PRTG server, again, you just type in the URL, the URL is given to you from PRTG, and then type in your credential, and you just log in. You will see the things that you want to see. Now, who actually benefit from the on-cloud solution? Companies that does not have their own server, companies that is leaning towards cloud, or companies that prefer to have a subscription offering, then they can go with the hosted monitor solution. So next slide. So where do they host PRTG for you? All right. So for the UK and US, we have Oregon, Northern Virginia, Ireland, and then for APAC, we have Singapore and Sydney. Again, the core server for unhosted, we run it on a virtual machine in the AWS data center. Okay, so now you understand the basic concept of PRTG. You need a probe, you need a core server. That's how it works, all right? And let's talk about the features of PRTG. So how will you be accessing your data? So we provide 3 platforms. You can either do it through your web user interface, or you can use your PRTG desktop application, or you can download the app for your mobile. So there's 3 places you can access your data anytime, anywhere. Now, we are introduced with the PRTG device tree. So normally when you enter into the PRTG web user interface, you will see this device tree here. So this is all 100% customizable. However you want to name it, it's up to you. So as you can see, it's a hierarchical tree form. They share a parent and child relationship. So whatever settings you do to the server, for example, notifications and alert, the child will basically inherit the settings. But of course, every customer have their own special environment where they want to have their own settings for a particular end device they are trying to monitor. We can always override the settings of the parents by just doing the settings in the child itself. I will show you that in a moment in the demo, so it will make more sense. So how do we actually do monitoring? So for other solution, they probably monitor like the entire device as a whole, and they will charge you a very expensive licensing. But for PRTG, our licensing model is very simple. We are based on the sensor, the number of sensor. So as you can see, this entire here is one device itself. So we use a sensor. So what sensor? Sensor is one aspect on one device. So pink here is one sensor itself, consider. So you have 14 sensors here for like this server right here. And if there are some sensors you do not need to monitor, sensors that are not urgent, not critical to you, you can always delete and remove that sensor. All right, so this again is customizable and you can do it however you want. So PRTG sensor channels, when you click into a sensor, like let's say you click into the ping sensor, you'll be brought into this ping channel, which will show you the matrices of that ping time. Let's say the maximum and minimum and the packet loss. This is where you will probably set your threshold on what is the SLA for you, what's considered good quality. And if it reached to a certain threshold that I define, I want to be notified. Okay. So sensor states are very direct and straightforward. So green means up, Red means down. Orange means my data is unusual, doesn't shows me an unusual trend. Red and green, down partial. This is when you have a HA cluster you're running with PRTG, and then one is up and one is down to show you this. And yellow is warning. Blue is pause. Bright red, you acknowledge that it's down. And gray is unknown, undetectable sensor. So for PRTG, I can say with confidence that if you have an IP address, we can monitor everything, all right, except for analog devices. And if you want to monitor much more detail, you need to have a predefined sensor type configured. For example, in this here, you have bandwidth sensor type. We have web server sensor type, SNMP, WMI, Windows, Linux, and so on. So PRTG consists of 200 plus predefined sensor types. And we understand that most devices, sometimes they have a special requirement. So we do have like an easy defined additional sensor type, custom SNMP, scripts, WMI, and flow. So anything you can script, if you're a scripter, then you can do it. PRTG also offer you data visualization. So if you're a person that likes to present graphs, present visualized data to your company, we provide you with these two options, a tree map view and then a sunburst view that shows you the status summary of on every page. So if you're a person who prefer to display maps on your 28-inch monitor, you can do that. It's customizable. We have a tool that's called Map. And I will show you that in demo as well. And this is an example of a floor plan in data center. It's much more well drawn out and designed. You can see, you can put in your sensor, what's like CCTV right here. Maybe it's alive. I'll put my CCTV sensor here, my computer, my end device. And however you want to design, it's up to you. So the only limitation is you, really. Now, the whole point of monitoring is that we are able to be proactive instead of being reactive, right? You want user to be able to not come to you and just give you a lot of problems in the day. You don't want that. You want to be able to notify of the problem immediately and just take action before the users come in and start, bothering you and so on. So PRTG, we offer powerful and flexible alerting from email, push notification, SMS, and then syslog message, execute HTTP action. We do even have a ticket system that you can also use, and some alarm, team Slack. However you want to be notified, we can do it. And if you need to submit a monthly report to your manager or just report to analyze the data trend, we do have that. We have a reporting engine to generate the custom reports of the sensor you want to see. And also we support HTML, PDF, CSV, and XML. So the report generate time schedule would be every month, week, day, and hour. All right. So if you want to extract the data, you can use API. If you're an API guy, you can use that. Now let's take a look on the use cases that is available in PRTG articles. So here we see the SE automation. SE automation is a mechatronics for water and energy system. So SE is established in 2007. They provide structured industrial maintenance and automation service in Mexico. And they also offer consulting services. So they were tasked with this project, this wastewater treatment, and how does PRTG come to play is that they want to monitor the services, the machineries in the plantation, all right? They want to make sure they are able to purify water and there's no disrupt in the production and operation itself, okay? So they also work with INSYS router to enable a secure communication with the multiple PLCs. So what do they want to monitor actually? They want to monitor on the value on the flow tanks, all right, the flow, the tank levels, the energy consumption, and the status of different industrial actuators, water pumps and aerators, etc. So INSYS router's role, they are here to just translate those outdated protocols to modern protocols, such as MQTT. With this protocol, we will be able to monitor much more detail using PRTG. So now the whole thing with SE3 is that we combine IT with OT together. All right. So no longer we will have such a gap, the digital gap between both worlds. And the advantage that they gain is now they have 80% decrease in unplanned visits by maintenance electricians. They can visualize any place, anytime using a simple and modern interface from a browser or mobile device. Like I mentioned, you have different multiple platforms you can access. And then no longer they will have a communication gap between IT and the OT side of the department. And they have an extensive monitoring with PRTG to overview any OT and IT component that supports the water treatment service, like UPS, server pumps, tank, and surveillance cameras. All right, let's take a look on another use case. This one is Cow Manager. So Cow Manager is an innovative company that combines common sense, technology, and innovation. So how they do it is they have a sensor that they put it at the cow's ear, and then they will sense the cow's health, the milk production, are they healthy or not. It's a pretty crazy technology. And so this helps farmer to monitor the cows on their farm 24 hours by 7 in real time using Cow Manager tool. So how does PRTG help Cow Manager? So we help them contribute to greater efficiency and better welfare for cows with Cow Manager. So how do we do that? We offer them, basically we help them to monitor the service that they provide, to provide that quality service. The system must function properly and retrieve data and comply to a SLA. All right, so this is where PRTG comes in. We help them to monitor everything smoothly. That way the system can keep running and intervene immediately as when necessary with notifications. All right. So right now, Cow Manager used to be on-prem, and now they're moving entirely to cloud. So if you're using PRTG already and used to be on-prem, you want to move to cloud, you can reach out to us and we'll assist you in doing that. All right. So the advantages of using PRTG is that no longer they need to do any self-service on the maintenance, version upgrade on the core server. Everything is handled by AWS, Amazon, PRTG themselves. All right. And then alerts, they basically send directly to their phone. If something goes wrong anywhere, they can immediately deal with it. They can just take proactive action. And the overall health and milk production of cows is avoid unnecessary medical costs, help them save money, and through the reporting analysis from PRTG themselves. And also, lastly, help the dairy farmers to optimize their operation and reduce waste, which also increase in profitability. So after all those use case, all those concept about PRTG, the features, how does PRTG actually makes it easier? How do they stand out compared to other solution? It's very simple. The installation of PRTG takes under 10 minutes. All right, there's no additional software needed. You just download the software, next, finish, and that's it. Boom, you're ready to go. We have a very user-friendly web user interface, really easy to navigate around. And we have this feature, auto discovery and pre-configured sensors. So if you have devices that has SNMP enabled already, and you just want to, you can just go to PRTG and just click this feature, and we just scan your network and add into the PRTG itself. So if there are any devices that you do not want, you can take it out as well. And alerts and notification channel, again, we have notifications, multiple platforms that alerts you so that one you can play around. We also provide reporting and analysis of the data, real time. And we have a single pane of glass monitoring dashboard as well. So again, the maps, the data visualization, it's really up to you to how you want to design it. And a ticket system, which you can use if you do not have a to-do list, or maybe you want a user to use ticket system to submit their IT issues, you can also use that. But if you have notification, there's no point for them to have a ticket system because you already know, right? No longer you need a ticket to wait for them to report. So PRTG roadmap. We have a roadmap here. Basically, we'll tell you what this PRTG is working on currently, what they're planning for, what you can explore. You can visit this URL here, pacer.com/PRTG/roadmap. And there should be a circular icon, circular S. And if you have a feedback, opinion on something, you can always provide your feedback to help them improve their services or some features that you want to see. So let's talk about what's new in PRTG this quarter or this year, right? So currently for the hosted monitor, the new features that we offer is annual subscription for PRTG hosted monitor. And for the hosting regions, like I mentioned, we have Oregon, Singapore, Sydney, but we are going to have Tokyo and Seoul soon. So those regions are coming. And for PRTG, we can also monitor hosted monitor now available through channel partners. We also have a MIP file upload that's available. If you want to have to add on more sensors into the library, you can use that. And lastly, we force multi-factor authentication for all invitees to the PRTG web user interface. So for the user interface, this is the alpha version, only available in version 21.4.73. It's not just a new interface. We comply with the Web Content Accessibility Guideline, meaning that we really make it user-friendly for you to navigate. Even person with disabilities, they will have no difficulties using PRTG web user interface. But if you decide to use the alpha user interface, you only can use it to monitor. You're unable to do any actions like delete, edit, or add or modify. So they're in the current phase of developing it. So we hope to move to a beta version in this quarter. So now let's talk about the PRTG user web interface. All right. Of course, I'll also show you more in the demo, so bear with me. So first with the filtering, as you can see in this image here, we type REST and then the REST sensors just shows up. The others will just filter out. And we aim for a much more modern look, and we have automatic ordering, and then also we can change the slider to left or right to resize the pane, which I also will show you in a moment. And we have other features as well: collapse, expand on the sensors, show the current object of the sensors. So for example, here we click into this common SAS check sensor and we can see the response time of each different SAS. So as you can see with Google Apps response time, Dropbox, and something like that. So this is the alpha version. And then next, 1 second. And then next, this is where I mentioned about the slider, where you can resize the pane. You click on this, you click and hold on this gray color bar here, and then just drag left and right. So how do you use this new user web interface? You can enable it through the setup of your call. All right. Please do not be alarmed. They will install a new Windows service when you do that. It's called a PRTG application server. Okay. So again, if you have some feedback on the user interface, you can visit to the roadmap and you can find it. It's called like new UI and API, and then you can just click the circular S and give your feedback onto it. So I will start with the demo now. Let me change my screen real quick. Let me know if you're able to see my screen. All good? Okay, so here is the PRTG core server that is installed on-prem. All right, I will show the on-cloud soon. As you can see here in the home page, you can see the total sensor that you have. I have 36 currently, and then I have 2 current alarms, right? Okay, and then you can jump right into the device here. And these are all the devices that I have monitored currently. So I'm monitoring my firewall right here. You can see, I can see my ping time, my health, my system, my uptime, and so on. So if I want to go look closer, I can just click into that sensor and I can see much more. So I have defined a threshold. If it reaches 80%, please alert me through Telegram. So I have that already set up. And let's go back to devices. So if you want to add your device, normally first thing you see is empty, right? Your new user, your first time using PRTG, you just come here and just do add sensor, okay? Or you can add a group, create a group of what you want, like IT department, finance department, and then you can just click and then do auto discovery group. Or you can just go ahead and add a device. For example, when you add a device, you can select what group do you want to add under. So for me, it's secure one. I'll just select that. And then I'll just give the name. It can be Cole. I'll just give phantom name and then type in the IP address of it. All right. So if you want to add text, you can do that. And if you want to give it an icon, you can also do that. So here we have already a predefined template of icons. If you don't find it, you can always use the general one. Like for the firewall that you don't have, you can use like this firewall here. But if you see something you have that is here, you can just select the icon. And then you will select default auto discovery to discover the sensors that you want. If you don't want to do that, you can do no auto discovery and just add it on your own. So what if you don't use other protocols like SNMP, WMI? I'm just using normal ping, then ICMP. So then this is what you see. You just see ping, that's it. So if you want to see much more, you need to enable those protocols. All right. So if you want to look at maps, we do have maps as well. For example, we have this secure online too. So you can see this is just a map that we have that I created. So if you want to design it, it's up to you. You can just go here This map designer, and then there's all the icons are at the right side that you can select. There's tons of them. Really, you can play around with it. There's a lot of things you can customize with. All right. How you want to add sensors into it, you can just drag core health sensor. That's it. Or if I want to do like core servant entirely, that's it. And then if I want to see something else, I can go to data table and just drag and drop into it. Something like that. So it's really up to you how you want to design it. And if you want to display onto your monitor, you can get the HTML and then just copy it, paste on the browser, and then just do full screen. And you can display on your monitor. So for the alpha version, again, I already have my UI set up. So normally you come to setup and then you will enable from here. And then once you enable that, you will see an option called Open New UI. Click that. Log in. And go to monitoring, and this is the new UI. So again, you can resize the pane. All right, you want to go to one sensor, you can just click prop health and see the channels of it to gauge. So you can see compared to the old UI, we are much more modern in the look. So we're trying to get this into this, get this developed in this quarter as soon as possible. So stay tuned. If you're very interested in it, please go to the roadmap again and provide your feedback. So for the on cloud, you'll be brought to this page once you have the licensing and everything, the account, and then you log into your account, and then they will show you the instances. Your subscription overview, and then your PRTG domain. So this one is totally, you can change the domains, up to you. All right. So mine is like secure1webinar.prtg.com. So I need to go to this URL to be able to access my PRTG. But I can just click open PRTG here. Sign in again. And this is how the on-hosted looks like. It's very similar to the on-prem, except that everything is being managed by PRTG themselves. And let's say you don't want to use PRTG display, you have a third-party software that you might want to use for displaying those graph monitoring and stuff like that. Like let's say Grafana, for example, you can always use PRTG API to do that. Example of my Sonic Wall TZ370, and I can obviously integrate it with Grafana and just check my graph out. So if I have alerts, I can also check it from here. So that's pretty much it for the demo. Okay. Back to the screen itself. All right, let's jump into the Q&A section, I believe. All right, let's see what questions do we have here that we can answer. Okay, so if you guys have any questions, don't be shy. Leave it down in the box. I'll try my best to answer, and if I can't answer them, I'll get back to you through email. And if you're really shy and you have questions, you can always reach out to us at our email, and sales at secure1.com.my, which I will pull up the screen real quick. So any questions so far, guys?
Aaron, okay, there's one question from Lokman Hamid. So how about the bandwidth reporting?
The bandwidth reporting, this one we can monitor. Yes, we do have the bandwidth reporting.
Is it in a monthly basis, weekly, or yearly?
We have hour, we have daily, and we have monthly, weekly as well.
So we can customize it, right?
Yes, we can customize it. Okay. Yes, for Jeff, my good friend Jeff, yes, we can monitor PRTG bandwidth usage, as mentioned. For to identify the number of the sensors that you're going to purchase, we come with like PRTG 1000, means that you have 1000 sensors allocated to you, PRTG 500. So you can check out our licensing, or you can actually reach out to our sales for more information on the licensing model itself, and we'll let you know on that. I hope that answered the question. Let me know if the answer don't make sense. I'll try to clarify. So the lowest interval we can actually go is 10 seconds. Any lower than that is asking for trouble, so we don't recommend going lower than that. The minimum we can go is 10 seconds.
Okay, is there any questions out? For the licensing, actually, for those that are interested on the licensing, yes, please reach out to our sales@secure1.com.my for more info. Okay, so we have a few questions here. Is there any trial license or demo license?
Yes, we do. For the on-prem, we have 30 days trial license that you can register with PRTG. On cloud is 10 days. Can I check in bandwidth? What's the IP address, port usage? For the bandwidth usage, we are not able to tell you what IP address, what port is being used that much. We can tell you the megabytes in usage basically. So yeah, we cannot do that.
Okay, let me add on for the question for Winchin for the trial license. So actually, you can reach out to our website www.secure1.com.my and go to the product site in Paceler PRTG. So we do leave out the 30 days trial license link at there, so you can just download from there. Yes. Okay, thank you. So any other questions? Don't be shy.
All right, I just want to say thank you for everyone coming to this webinar and listening to this. I hope I can provide you with this insight on PRTG, and hopefully you guys can reach out to us and give it a try. Give it a try, really. It's a really good monitoring solution.
Yes. Okay, so actually SecureOne is the authorized distributor of PRTG in Malaysia. So if you need any more helps on maybe like product presentation or the POC and anything else, so feel free to reach out to us in SecureOne. So all of us will help you. And for those that have come in late, so we will also share the recording after this webinar. And also for those that missed out in our previous webinar, so actually we do upload our webinar in our YouTube. So feel free to check out our YouTube channel as well. So we put a lot of our previous webinar. So you may find some useful information there. Okay. So, okay, I think there's not much questions here. So thank you everyone for coming, for joining us today. So I hope to see you all next time. Thank you, Aaron, for the presentation. So we shall end our webinar now. Thank you, everyone. See you next time.